Well, we've finally seen the back of 2020, and I know many of us will be happy to have done so. If you are sat at home, though, wondering what made 2020 such a perfect storm, what made 2020 such a horrendous year, then please stick around, because at the end of this episode, I've got a guest coming on who's going to tell us exactly why 2020 was always destined to be the year from hell. But before we get there, let's have a bit of a recap, maybe not in chronological order, of what happened this year. Well, first of all, this man here died, and then he didn't. But a lot of bees did die as supersized killer hornets went on the rampage. We all found out that this man had been on a rampage of his own, and as a result he ended up joining this man in prison. But as it turns out, not so long after that, only this man was left. Prince Harry shocked the UK by leaving for America with absolutely no warning at all, before coming back later in the year to cheer us all up with the release of his new album, Afterglow. A horrified world looked on and prayed for the brave men and women fighting the bushfires in Australia.
Tell the Prime Minister to go and get from Nelligan. We really enjoy doing this, head.
And we all hoped that would be the end of the bad news for 2020, but in an event that could only have been predicted by the terrible movie The Exorcist 2, a swarm of locusts arrived in Kenya, destroying all the crops. So far, a very sad year indeed, until Captain America actor Chris Evans tried to cheer everyone up by posting a picture of his own knob on Twitter. And then more comedy gold appeared in the form of the SpaceX rocket launch, which left flat earthers enthusiastically stuck to their screens in an attempt to improve their counting skills.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well done. And then to celebrate, they used the rest of the launch to say every single dimwitty thing that just happened to pop into their brain.
It's a balloon. I think we're in animation already.
How come we can't see their funny faces?
Can anyone identify that aerodynamic material, that tinfoil, that's not flapping in the wind, that's not exploding from outer space? Those milk crates are steering it. They're using those to steer it.
Now, I do have a feeling that something else happened last year, and I'll see if I can remember what it is. But for now, after a totally horrendous start to the year, our streaming services tried to cheer us all up by releasing a whole host of brand new programs, all with the same intention, to show us that no matter how stressful the situation, we can resolve it with a feeling of love and togetherness. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine a world where the Love Boat does road rage.
Get out of the truck! Get out of the truck, little lady!
No, I'm good.
See, because you know you lose.
How do I lose?
Stop! How will he lose if he gets out the truck? Is Road Rage Mick Hucknall an actual ninja? Find out how he will lose right now on the next episode of The Love Boat Does Road Rage.
How do I lose?
Because I will beat your dick into the ground all day long.
I do love a programme that's got an unexpected twist in it.
That's kind of gay, isn't it?
I will beat your dick.
Well, what a great twist, and I never imagined that they'd be able to pull that off. Anyway, it seems that in the real world, President Trump was trying to follow this example, and it seems that him and Joe Biden, no matter what the public think, were far closer than many expected.
Did you see where Biden wants to take me to the back of the barn? Me. He wants it.
So eventually, 2020 was back on course. Until this happened.
Yeah, I've never had a mustache before.
No, sorry. I didn't mean that. I mean this.
The coronavirus has hit the UK.
Yeah, but not to worry, because as an island who've been watching the virus spread throughout Europe, we were prepared with a swift and adequate response.
But we've also agreed a plan.
Told you. And the plan was this.
Wash our hands.
Yeah, sound advice. And then once you've done that, do this.
Wash our hands.
And of course, we must never forget to do this.
Wash our hands.
And as long as we all did that, there'd be absolutely no problem.
Go about business as usual.
Yeah, and that is fine, unless business as usual means going into hospitals full of people with coronavirus and shaking hands with everybody.
I was at a hospital the other night where I think there were actually a few coronavirus patients, and I shook hands with everybody, you'll be pleased to know, and I continue to shake hands.
But as long as they've all washed their hands, I can't see any harm coming from that.
I've developed mild symptoms of the coronavirus.
Only mild though.
Boris Johnson has been admitted to intensive care.
The NHS has saved my life, no question.
Well, it all turned out nice in the end, didn't it? Except for those people who wanted to have a poo. Because it seemed at times that all of the toilet roll had decided to go on holiday from the shops. But that mystery was solved when we found out that Flat Earther Quantum Eraser had been stocking up after his announcement to only ever from now on deliver his amazing Flat Earth lectures from the comfort of his own toilet seat.
Gravity isn't a force!
Holy shnikes, this is gonna leave a mark.
Nice. Anyway, and then the real stupid started, and this man certainly played his part. Now, having no formal background whatsoever in virology, Dr. Andrew Kaufman naturally felt that he was the ideal person to ease people's concerns. And he started telling people that viruses do not actually cause disease at all. In fact, he was such an expert that he decided to rewrite history and tell people that COVID-19 was called COVID-19 not because the disease was discovered in 2019, which is the truth, but because it was the 19th version of that disease.
Because you know that this is COVID-19, and
lots of others, isn't there?
Right. So there's at least 18 that came before it. Although 19 may have a special significance.
But of course, with the internet being the internet, even Kaufman's level of ignorance and stupidity managed to find an audience which, within no time at all, became experts themselves.
A lot of people that know me throughout the years always told me, yo, Wood, you got a lot of knowledge and you're a master teacher and you should share it.
Well, that is good news because we really could, at this time of crisis, do with an educated voice of reason. So what's your advice?
On the back of the Lysol bottle, it always said that Lysol kills coronavirus, H1N1, hepatitis A, and a slew of other different viruses.
Great to know. So we should all get some Lysol, we should disinfect the door handles, we should disinfect the surfaces in the kitchens, keep our house nice and sterile. Very sensible.
Or if you see somebody corona, just spray it on them and it should kill the virus.
Great. And it turns out that he wasn't the only one. The problem of the growing number of YouTube-educated, self-declared biology experts was only getting worse.
First of all, we cannot catch viruses.
In my opinion, the heart does not pump the blood.
Today I'm going to be talking to you about Koch's postulates.
Hello everybody, I'm going to tell you about viruses today. Viruses a virus is just a part, a piece, a makeup of bacteria.
Disinfectant, injection. I'm not a doctor.
There is no evidence that SARS-CoV-2 has been purified and is unequivocally in existence.
The coronavirus has a cure. AIDS, cancer, everything has a cure. Doctors are hoarding the antidote and are only giving it to friends and families and people who are paying top dollar. Did you know that?
Do not get tested for the coronavirus.
There is no evidence that I can see that a pandemic exists.
A lot of patients over the years have come to me and said they want help with their immune system. And the first thing I usually say to them is, you don't have an immune system.
Koch's.
But while the internet was becoming a breeding ground for ignorance, my inbox was becoming a breeding ground for flat earth troll comments. But they all seem to say exactly the same thing.
Yo, let's take that stupid dial and turn it to 11.
Yo, hear me now!
Go up, you bald, insecure prick, you and nerdy, get a telescope and watch your ships on sink. Do you believe the globe we live on holds us upside down by gravity? When looking in the sky we see the planes and clouds and birds fly free. The buildings on the ground are upside down, but gravity can't even stop a tiny butterfly from flying free. Get a grip, cause your t-shirt don't convince me. Proving the earth is moving, so you can't. Proving the earth has curvature, so you can't.
Globers, low IQ.
Prove space exists, so you can't. Prove we landed on the moon, so you can't.
No.
Yeah, I am sorry. I do realise how bad that was. I must have left that in by accident. But anyway, as 2020 has now ended, let's bring in our expert who's going to tell us specifically why 2020 was such a melting pot for awful events. Apparently it was all written in the stars and it was all predicted by numerology. What can you tell us, guest, about 2020?
The number 2020 consists a 2, a 0, and a 2, another 0.
Yeah, and you see, that's it. It's that kind of hard-hitting insight that I've brought you here for. What else can you tell me?
Add all the numbers 2020, 2 plus 0, 2 plus 0, then it becomes number 4.
Yeah, so obviously that's going to be quite crucial, isn't it? And I think we can all see where you're going with this. I certainly don't want to spoil it for anybody, though, so you crack on.
Now, number 4. What number 4 signifies? Number 4 signifies the 4th house.
Ah, yes, number 4, the 4th. Of course, number 4 is the 4th house. You know, I wish my dad had known that years ago, and he never would have lost his job as a local postman. Anyway, what does the 4th house signify?
The 4th house. It is the moon.
Okay, the moon. This is too easy. So the 4th house signifies the moon. What does the moon signify?
Moon, which is the mother.
Of course, the mother. Absolutely, the moon signifies the mother.
Moon, which is the motion.
Or motion, yeah, of course. So for anybody who's struggling to follow, 2020, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 equals 4, 4 equals the 4th house equals the moon equals the mother, or motion, who cares? And that is it. That is why 2020 was destined to be such a terrible year. Thank you so much for coming on.
Okay.
Well, at least now we know, and for any of you wondering what's going to be in store for 2021, easy. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1 equals 5. 5 times 10 is 50. 50 divided by 10 is 5. 5 is the amount of fingers I've got on one hand. I've only got one hand. So 1 times 0 equals 0, which means I haven't got a clue. Let me play you out with this. Goodbye. You stuck this video out to the end, please take a look at the links in the description that will take you to all the places on YouTube you can find me, plus the almost unbelievable spooky podcast on Spotify. It's well worth checking out.